success isn't measured by how many people log into a portal, right? It's about whether they're making better financial decisions because of the resources, education, and guidance we provide.
This is 401k Specialist Editor-in-Chief Brian Anderson, and this is the 401k Specialist Podcast. There have been a few high-profile personnel moves involving advisors in the retirement plan industry lately, and the latest involves Holly Knight joining the Alera Group in a newly created role as Director of Retirement Advisor Services. We wanted to find out more about what piqued Holly's interest to make the big move from NFP, where she was a very successful senior advisor for WellSense, and what better way than to have her as our guest on the 401k Specialist Podcast. Thanks for joining us today, Holly.
Thanks, Ryan. I'm really excited to be here.
All right, well, let's start out with how this move to Alera Group came about. How'd that ball get rolling? Had you been thinking about making a move after the Aon acquisition of NFP back in 2024, or did this come out more out of the blue?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think like most career moves, right, it kind of starts with a call. You're having a conversation with someone. I wasn't actively looking, but I had definitely been kind of contemplating it, after years of building out that financial education program and kind of working at the intersection of retirement, wealth, and participant engagement. I knew there was an opportunity to do more and really to create something that was an integral financial wellness solution into broader financial, services. So out of the blue, a friend of both of ours, Josh Itzo, called me and he said, I think there's this opportunity and I think you'd be a good fit for it. And so he knew where I stood. He and I have had plenty of conversations over the years about financial wellness and, what it should look like when it's done right. And he knew I wasn't just really passionate. I really wanted to operationalize it in a way that would work for advisors, plan sponsors, and participants. So he reconnected me with Christian Mango. I met Christian, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 years ago at a conference. I think it was Wealth at Work, maybe. And we just hit it off. There was some obvious synergies between us. He was in the financial education space at the time. So that's really kind of how it came to be. But, when we're looking at Alera, it's not just the job. It was really about the firm's commitment to innovation and execution and impact. That was really important to me. And I feel like Alera is in a unique position. They're large enough to have scale and the resources and talent, but they're still agile enough to kind of embrace that entrepreneurial thinking. So that's definitely aligns with me and my mindset. So it was a great move.
Okay, I want to get a little more into that. You said that Alera is uniquely positioned to deliver true financial integration for its clients and that it can act as a connector. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you mean by that?
Sure. Alera is not just a benefits firm or a wealth management or a retirement firm. It's all of those. And there's deep expertise in each of those areas. So in my experience, most firms operate in these silos, I guess, which kind of forces clients to navigate these fragmented solutions. Alera really integrates all of those services under one umbrella, and it provides a seamless experience for eliminating that traditional friction between benefits and retirement and wealth. The key differentiator, I think, is that we're not forcing that one size fits all financial wellness platform onto clients. Instead, we're kind of looking at it as embedding financial wellness into the natural flow of benefits, retirement, and wealth services. So you're meeting participants no matter where they are, and you can adapt, or they can adapt to their financial journey in real time. So their growth strategy it's really built on strategic partnerships, technology, and more of that consultative approach rather than just selling products. So I'm really excited about kind of like that mindset because again, that aligns with how I've always felt financial education and just financial services in general should be.
Right. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about what you're going to be focusing on at Alera Group. The announcement said that you'll be building scalable infrastructure to support ambitious growth while maintaining a human touch. Can you give us a few more details about that?
Sure. At its core, I guess my role is about building a financial services model that's both high impact and highly scalable, right? One that's going to deliver real financial outcomes for participants while still supporting that long-term growth strategy. The challenge isn't just expanding services, but it's doing so in a much more intentional, repeatable, and I guess adaptable way across those diverse client needs. So one of the biggest obstacles I find in financial education and advisory services is just complexity. There's too many moving parts, too many disconnected solutions. And so my focus is really simplifying that delivery without sacrificing the depth that Alera's advisors and clients can have access to and seamlessly integrate into all of those different business services. So that's building structured but flexible process that we can scale across all different industries and leveraging technology and data to create those personalized yet automated participant engagement strategies. That's, scalability is a really important thing, I think, at this point in time. That's where my focus is going to be.
Okay. And I know that you've always had a big passion and belief in financial wellness and integrating initiatives into employee benefit programs. How's that going to fit in at Alera?
Very good question. So financial wellness has always been at the core of my approach, right? I mean, I'm super, super passionate about this. And to me, it's not just a buzzword, but it really needs to be a foundation for better financial decision-making in every stage of life. So whether someone's just starting out or navigating, those career transitions or getting ready for retirement, that confidence comes from understanding and access and action. So Alera already recognizes financial wellness as a critical part of its value proposition. But what excites me about the role is the opportunity to kind of take that foundation and build something more expansive and more integrated and ultimately more impactful. I help our financial wellness team, which is led by our director of financial wellness, Matt Rayfield. And we're really amplifying financial wellness across all aspects of retirement and benefits consulting, because it really can't be just a standalone service. And listen, I'm a total data geek. I feel data should drive a lot of what we do, but it's also about moving beyond, engagement metrics and into like real behavioral outcomes. Success isn't measured by how many people log into a portal, right? It's about whether they're making better financial decisions because of the resources, education, and guidance we provide. So that's really important. And I also think it's really important to equip our advisors with the tools they need to deliver that financial wellness to their clients at scale. So it's got to be meaningful, actionable, and repeatable. And I'm really deeply committed to making sure that integration happens for all of them.
Right. Great. Okay. Well, I know that you're only a handful of weeks into the new role, but have there been any notable surprises or any kind of a culture shock that you've encountered so far?
Yeah, this is the end of my fourth week. It is, the old saying, it is drinking water out of a fire hose, but in a really great way. I wouldn't say there have been surprises necessarily, but there have been some confirmations of why this was the right move for me. When you step into a new organization, there's always a question of how much of what was discussed during that interviewing process is going to actually translate into reality. And what I've seen so far is that Alera is exactly what I expected and more. One of the things is the speed and agility at which Alera moves it's really energizing. Many firms talk about innovation, but here it's really embedded in the way decisions are made. And there's a willingness to invest in the right technology infrastructure and those strategic initiatives without getting caught up in a lot of bureaucracy. I believe that's critical when you're building something scalable and future focused. And in my role, whether it's financial wellness, operational infrastructure, or retirement plan strategy, the ability to execute and iterate quickly means that we can build something meaningful without the typical kind of corporate inertia, I guess.
Great. Okay. We know that you're going to be involved in a session at the Napa 401k Summit in Las Vegas coming up in April. Are there any other industry gatherings or events on your radar at the moment? And what's your road plan?
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm really excited to be part of the summit. That's always a great place to just get energized and have conversations that are pretty critical. I think more critical than ever. So I'm super excited for that. And then I'm going to be at Sherry Fitz. We love Sherry Fitz and her Sway conference, and I'm really excited about that because it really more focuses on modernizing how we communicate and connect in financial services, which again is one of the bigger challenges in our industry. You can have all the great resources and solutions, but if people can't connect to you, then it really isn't going to make a difference. So there's that. And then, of course, I'm doing this roadshow. I'm going to be out visiting all of our different regional offices and advisory firms. So that's a big priority of mine for Q1, really just to go out and have kind of a listening tour and to fully understand what's working, what's going well, and, maybe where there's some bottlenecks that we can kind of clean up. So those regional events are a great way to connect directly with those that are really delivering the advice to understand how I can best support. So my first one is on Monday. I'm headed to Pennsylvania for that one. So this is really exciting. It's an exciting time to be in this industry.
Definitely great. And I'm excited to hear that you're going to be at Sway Live.
Yeah.
Case Specialist is going to be involved in that as well.
Of course. I mean, yeah, Sherry's been one of those iconic people for me in this industry. I definitely have looked up to her and many others. There's so much to be learned. And I love that there's just this collaborative environment that you can really be vulnerable and have the conversations and know that you're with like-minded people. It's pretty inspiring.
Exactly. All right. Holly Knight, thank you so much for joining us today on the 401k Specialist podcast. Really appreciate you sharing your insights.
Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun.